Hi there, I'm Nicole Bentley, and welcome to Game Changing Practice number 3, Enabling Shared Leadership. One of the greatest compliments you can give your staff is asking them for their opinion on an important matter. And when shared leadership is strong, the leader does this on a regular basis. When shared leadership is strong, the leader regularly taps into the wealth of knowledge, skills, experiences, creativity, and different perspectives available within their team. When shared leadership is strong, the leader is regularly inviting input, asking questions, and enabling their team members to solve problems on their own by encouraging them to really tap into their own creative thinking and problem-solving abilities so that individuals and the team as a whole takes greater accountability and ownership and pride in problem solving and in ultimately the overall performance of the team. Now, on the flip side of that, shared leadership is weak when the leader falls into the habit of prescribing solutions, right? And this happens quite regularly. It's a habit that a lot of leaders have, in part because of the busyness of your days. It's often easier when a team member comes to you with a problem to have the knee-jerk reaction to solving the problem for them, just telling them what to do, how to solve it, or simply saying to them, you know what, leave it with me, I've got it, I'll run with this. Unfortunately, however, when we allow that knee-jerk reaction of prescribing solutions to take hold and become a habit, then we are limiting our team members' ability to own problems. We are limiting our team members' ability to problem solve and to think differently. And that inhibits not only ownership and accountability, that inhibits engagement, and it inhibits innovation because, quite frankly, no offense, you as the leader don't have all the answers. And your answers aren't always, and your solutions aren't always the best. And so I want to share with you an example of a leader of an organization who has done a tremendous job at enabling shared leadership, and as a result, significantly improving the level of engagement within the organization. And that organization is Southwest Airlines. Some of you might be very familiar with Southwest, and they have managed to remain profitable and successful in a struggling airline industry. And they've done so in great part because of their culture. And the culture that they have can be really attributed to a great degree to the founder of Southwest and the previous CEO, who's Herb Kelleher. And there's a story about Herb Kelleher that I want to share with you that really highlights the importance of shared leadership. And the story is about Herb Kelleher teaching his protege how to one day lead the company as well as he can. So he turns to his protege, Mark, and he says, Mark, I can teach you how to run this company as well as I can in 30 seconds. Here it is. Southwest is the low-fare airline. We are not a low-fare airline. We are the low-fare airline. And we also provide the most outstanding service. We don't just provide outstanding service, we provide the most outstanding service. And once you understand those two facts, you can make any decision about this organization as well as I can. And he goes on to give an example. He says, Mark, suppose Sarah from marketing comes into your office one day and says, I have a great idea. I think the passengers on the Houston to Vegas flight should get a nice chicken Caesar salad. What do you think? I think we should do that. And he turns to Mark and he says, what do you say to Sarah? And Herb answers himself and he says, first of all, you recognize Sarah for coming to you with an idea. Because at this point, maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's not. It doesn't really matter at this point. What matters most is that you have a team member coming to you with an idea on how they think the company can be better. So we want to recognize and acknowledge that, because that's the kind of behavior, that's the kind of initiative and shared leadership that we want to see, because that's how we'll all be better. Then second of all, the next thing you do is you ask Sarah a question. Now, those of you watching this, I want you to think about, what question would you ask Sarah, who just came to you with this idea to add chicken Caesar salad to the flight? Now, some of you are thinking, I might ask her, how much is this going to cost? Right? But the question that you want to ask Sarah, you don't want to get into the nitty-gritty, because that's the next step. The first thing you want to ask is simply, how does adding chicken Caesar salad to the Houston to Vegas flight help us become the low-fare airline that provides the most outstanding service? Because at this point, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You want to link the idea back to that vision, that success statement that your organization is working towards. And if you recall in video 1, being fanatically focused on success is all about getting clear on where you're going and connecting everybody to that vision. And so what Urt Keller was a master at was being a broken record and going out and asking questions. What do you think we need to do in order to become the low-fare airline? How can we provide even better service? And so when Sarah comes into his office with an idea to add a meal, he'll first ask, how will this enable us to become that? To become the low-fare airline, for example. So that Sarah can start linking her idea to the outcome, and so that the two of them can have a dialogue about the idea, as opposed to Herb telling her, great idea, or run with it, or not so great idea, or give me the details. No, we need to understand the bigger picture and engage Sarah or your team member in that dialogue so that they share with you how they feel their idea will take the organization or the team to that next level to achieving that goal. It's all about dialogue. It's all about asking questions, and it's all about linking to where you're going. So as a leader, it is critical to focus on, how am I enabling my team members to take greater ownership in problem solving and the ideas that they're bringing to me? How can I engage them in problem solving and creative thinking? By asking more questions. If you only do one thing as a result of this video, or one thing as a result of all of the videos that I'm going to be sharing with you, if you only do one thing, I encourage you to ask more questions and talk less. Invite your team members to share ideas, to provide input. Be curious in your dialogue with your team members, and ensure that they feel a part of the process and are encouraged to use their own skills, use their own experiences and knowledge in problem solving, as opposed to relying on you to do the problem solving for them. And so we do a lot of work around enabling leaders to have everyday coaching conversations to create greater ownership, greater creativity and innovation and problem solving at the end of the day within the team. So go out, think about the types of questions you can be asking, and think about how you can engage your team members more in dialogue and taking ownership for problem solving. And you will create greater shared leadership and therefore greater results within your team. Okay, thanks so much, and stay tuned for the next game-changing practice next week. Have a great day.